Let me ask you guys a question. What would you say is more racist? Organizing tribally with a few other white people because you're afraid that maybe some foreigners or some immigrants might come in and take over your little local town? What's more racist? Is that pretty racist? Or is it also racist what happens if you denounce racism? What happens if you decide you want to be a rugged individualist? You don't associate with any white pride. You don't associate with any sense of white identity. You are just an individualistic person and you only worry about yourself. And let's say you get married and you buy your own house and you have a great job because you're not thinking about racism. You don't believe in white pride. You don't believe in white power. You don't believe in any type of racial identity. You're just an individual. That's how you identify. So you get married and you have your house and you have your wife, and then you guys decide to have a child. And when you guys decide to have a child, you want to nurture your genetic offspring. You want to take care of that baby of yours. You want your child to grow up and be strong and empowered. You are basically putting all of your money, resources, and time and love and energy into your direct genetic offspring. Now think of that for a moment. Is that not the most racist shit you've ever heard of? What could be more racist than putting all your time, energy, and resources into a child that is literally a DNA offspring replica of yourself? Why isn't that called racist? Like think about it. Okay, so if you're white and you have a sense of white pride and you have a sense of white collective identity, that's the worst thing in the world and you're so evil and you're so racist and that's so terrible, right? But why is it that if you decide you just don't want to be, white power, white pride, you don't want any of that stuff, and you just want to focus on getting married and having a kid and raising your child, isn't that the most racist, pro-white thing you could ever do? Think about it. What could be more racist and pro-white than having a child that is a direct genetic offspring of yourself? I mean, how is that not considered racist? If everything is fucking considered racist nowadays, okay, how is two white people coming together and having a child, how the hell is that not considered racist? How is it not considered racist? You are literally putting your genetic offspring on a pedestal. You are worshiping your genetic offspring. You want your child, your genetic offspring, your DNA. You nurture it. You put all your money, all your time, all your energy into your child, your DNA. That, to me, that is the most race-conscious, race-obsessed act you could ever do. But for some reason, that's not condemned. For some reason, that gets a free pass. Why does that get a free pass? Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it gets a free pass. It gets a free pass because the demonization of racism, it has nothing to do with, oh, the poor black people are being oppressed and we got to protect the poor black people. The reason why, if a white person focuses on themselves as an individual and focuses on raising their own genetic offspring, the reason that gets a free pass is because no one's worried about you doing anything dangerous to take power away from upper class whites. Now, if it's a bunch of lower class whites who feel threatened because you got the white liberal establishment on top, and then you have a bunch of Black Lives Matter crazies running around next to you, saying they hate you, whitey, they're going to come down on you. If a bunch of lower class whites organize under the collective banner of white or Caucasian or whatever type of white identity, then that becomes a threat to upper class whites. This is what I've been saying lately in some of my videos because I really just think it's true. Why the hell is worshiping your genetic offspring, raising them, nurturing them, caring for them, literally your DNA offspring, why is that given a free pass? It's just very obvious to me. I just had to get that out there because it really just shows the real reason. It really just shows the real reason all this shit happens. Hang on, this is a funny comment. You are an unhappy nerd who jacks off all day. But aren't you the same dude who's always popping into my live streams like he's got nothing better to do? And for that matter, aren't you the one that said in a few live streams like a week ago, you said you wanted to fuck me or something? So like, what are you talking about, dude? What the hell are you talking about? No, that's so weird. Anyways, it's a great contribution. So, yeah, it's just funny, man. It's just funny. Racism is not because, oh, the poor brown people, the poor black people are being oppressed. It has nothing to do with that. The reason why white countries shame racism is because it's the white liberal supremacy. They just want to preserve the power structure, and they're not worried about, fucking some brown people having their Black Lives Matter and, fighting against whitey. They don't even take them seriously. They're not worried about that. They're only worried about other white people organizing, collectivizing, and then waging war against upper class whites. That's the problem. But as long as you just focus on yourself, as long as you become an individual, and as long as you discard white power and white pride, and as long as you get a good job, you pay well, and you earn your spot in that white neighborhood with that that freaking community neighborhood with the nice fence around it giving you extra security. Once you get that, then you're in business. Once you're in that, then you're feeling a lot better. Once you're doing that, then everything is you're much more allowed. You're allowed to even have a child, which is a DNA genetic replica of yourself. And you're allowed to put all your time, energy, resources, love, compassion, all into your child, which is a DNA replica of yourself, basically. How is that not considered white supremacy? How is having a child and loving your child not considered racist? I mean, it should be, but does it ever get demonized by the media? Yeah, there's a little bit of demonization. But a lot of that's kind of coming from these Black Lives Matter groups that think white people need to be genocided. But again, the white liberal establishment, they allow the Black Lives Matter groups to get away with that. So what could be more racist? I mean, that's literally having a child and raising your child to be the most empowered person he can be is literally the most racist thing you can do, technically, by the definition of racism, right? That should be the most racist thing because your child is your genetic offspring. You are literally worshiping your genetics and you want to cultivate your genetics to be the greatest thing possible. You want to raise your child to be the greatest thing possible. You are raising your genetics to be great. How is that not fucking racist? Having children and loving them is racist. It should be by the logic of what the media condemns as racist, but they'll never condemn it. The only type of racism that they're worried about is lower class whites organizing collectively and potentially threatening the wealth class status of those above them. So we have a funny one. We have Mr. Anime Avatar person. You could always trust somebody with an anime cartoon avatar. Red Pill, you're just a kid who doesn't understand the world. Your philosophy is nothing more than word salad. Also, get a real job. Well, if you didn't know, get a real job is what people who hate their jobs say to people who love their jobs. So please stop projecting. So again, I just want to get that video out there real quick, Chris, or really quick, because I just think it kind of points to the inconsistencies and all this, oh, you're racist, stop being racist, so terrible. It's, thank you, fuck the Fed, appreciate that. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Yeah, so, someone writes, I work in a call center and people tell me to, quote, get a real job all the time. Oh man. Well, that's what we got to deal with, right? No, but it is interesting though. Get a real job. I love that one. Yeah, and you know the best response is get a real job is what people who hate their jobs say to people who love their jobs, and I think that there's a lot of truth to that. Because I do think sometimes people they're just projecting their misery. They're angry that they don't like their job. So like you don't have a real job. Well, look, I mean, if creating creative works that people consume is not a real job, then you're basically against fucking Game of Thrones, movies, novels. Like creativity is something that countless people, even people who work jobs they hate, creativity is something countless people ingest and consume and pay for all the time. Why do you think people have Netflix accounts? Why do you think people have Netflix accounts? Why do you think people pay for HBO? Because people like to consume creativity. Creativity is a real thing that people enjoy, people need in some regards. I mean, what better way to ameliorate your sense of boredom in life than creativity? I mean, that's one of the big reasons it exists. You're bored out of your fucking mind, so you consume somebody else's creative content. Someone writes, I don't have a job and I love it. I mean, hey, that's another way to go about it. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. Racism is a hoax because the establishment that condemns racism as such a bad thing doesn't object to it consistently. They pick and choose what they get outraged about, what the white liberal media chooses to get outraged about. And again, to summarize, you know, if it's racist for a group of white people to collectively organize and have their white pride and their white power and a sense of identity because they believe in genetic supremacy, white genetic supremacy, then why isn't it also racist to have children? Because when you're having a child, you are giving birth to something. The child is basically your genetic, it's a genetic copy basically, not 100%, but it's your genetic offspring. And if you love your child, you take care of your child, you work hard for your child, you spend your money on your child, and you do all these things investing into your genetic copy, your DNA replica, so that that child can grow up to be as strong and empowered as possible, tell me how that's not racist. By the definition, what racism is. You are investing all this energy into perpetuating your genetic offspring. The problem, it seems, that the white liberal establishment has with racism is the collectivism. You can be racist individualistically. You can have a child and you can give birth to a white child and he can be your genetic offspring, and you can invest all your energy into that genetic offspring. Individualistically, you can be racist, but collectively, collectivistically, that's what's shamed. That's what's shamed. So yeah, I mean, racism kind of is a hoax, and not in the sense that it doesn't exist, but in the sense that it's not objectively and consistently applied and shamed by the white liberal establishment. They pick and they fucking choose. Again, I'm just gonna, at this point I'm just gonna ignore your comments because you're just a pointless troll. I mean, you should thank me right now, Conor McGregor profile picture guy. You should thank me right now because I give you so much to look forward to. You are in all of my live streams. I mean, you literally just must wait for me to do a live stream. So thank me right now. Phoebe says it's not consistently defined. No, it's not. It's not consistently defined. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say here today, guys. Yeah, the bridge fell down. I survived it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to check out the incredible Keep America Great t-shirts. Trump 2020, the new slogan, Keep America Great. The link to this shirt is in the description below. Be sure to check it out. Racism is a hoax. I didn't say it. White liberals exposed it within themselves because of their contradictions, their hypocrisy. Hey, that's why Trump got elected, because racism is actually a fucking hoax. No one believes it's real anymore. So he got elected because people are tired of hearing this bullshit. Keep America great. Trump 2022 shirts now available. Links are below. Get them, guys. Later.